A warm welcome to the newsroom. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The World Health Organization (WHO) has urged Pakistan to implement intermittent lockdowns to counter a surge in coronavirus infections. Since the start of Pakistan's outbreak in March, Prime Minister Imran Khan opposed a nationwide lockdown, arguing that the impoverished country could not afford it. Instead, Pakistan's 4 provinces ordered a patchwork of closures, but last week Khan said most of these restrictions would be lifted. Health officials on Wednesday declared a record number of new cases in the past 24 hours. The country has now confirmed a total of more than 113 cases and 2,200 deaths, though with testing still limited, real rates are thought to be much higher. Elsewhere, Peru is emerging as a global COVID-19 hotspot as the health ministry has registered more than 200,000 cases, ranking the South American country as the 8th highest in the world by number of infections. The death toll rose to 5,738 and the total number of infections climbed to 203,736, an increase of more than 4,000 cases from the previous day. The ministry said 167 people had died from COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. The figures shows Peru as the second only to Brazil as Latin America's worst affected country by number of overall cases, and third after Brazil as Mexico in terms of deaths. Well, Singapore has approved the use of antiviral drug remdesivir to treat seriously ill coronavirus patients, becoming the latest country to do so. The U.S. authorized the emergency use of the drug in hospitals at the start of May, followed by Japan and South Korea, while Europe has been considering following suit. It has now been granted conditional approval in Singapore for treatment of some adult virus patients, such as those who require intensive breathing support. Singapore's Health Sciences Authority say it had expedited the review of remdesivir given the urgent public health need during the COVID-19 pandemic. The city-state now has the highest recorded number of infections in Southeast Asia, with nearly 39,000 cases, mostly among foreign workers. The death toll stands at just 25. Well, COVID-19 cases have also been rising in Nigeria, with the country recording its highest daily rise following the confirmation of 663 cases on Tuesday. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC, the new cases brings the national tally to 13,464. Of the new cases, Lagos had the highest number with 170 cases, while 108 were from Ogun State, 69 from Bauchi, 49 in Ebonyi, and 33 in Edo. Also, the number of recoveries increased significantly to 4,206, while 4 deaths were recorded to move the fatality toll to 365. Resident doctors and other health workers at the Dautatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Dash in Lafia, have embarked on a 7-day warning strike to press for improved welfare. The health workers include the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwife, Association of Resident Doctors, and the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Chairman of the Nurses and Midwives Group, Alizi Maga, who spoke on behalf of the unions, said the strike became necessary following the expiration of a 7-day ultimatum given to the state government. Maga said their demands include provision of adequate protective gears, implementation of COVID-19 hazard allowances, as well as an insurance scheme for their members fighting the pandemic. He added that the unions also want the implementation of their pending promotion of 13 years. We'll take a break here to bring you more stories. Don't go away.
Give him his shoes somewhere here, his phone and everything.
Don't do like that today, no.
Thank you. So, bye-bye. Hey,
Why do you
Oga, where do you think you are going? Home.
You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body. Shake body. See.
You never shake body.
I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here. Sit down there.
Aquaman, what's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get color.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, ma'am.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
Police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back, and to security matters now. At least 50 persons are feared dead following a fresh attack on Kadisau town in Faskari local government area of Katsina State. The armed bandits stormed Kadisau on over 100 motorcycles at about 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and eyewitnesses say security operatives only arrived at town at about 6 p.m., that's 3 hours after the attackers had left. Spokesperson of the Katsina State Police Command, Gambo Isa, is however yet to confirm the incident. Recall that residents of Katsina State had protested the incessant attacks on them by bandits on Tuesday, calling on the government of President Muhammadu Buhari and Aminu Masari to intervene in the security situation. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has been reacting to the controversial Control of Infectious Diseases Bill. Chairman of the body, Ayuba Waba, speaking at the public hearing of the bill in Abuja, said the inclusion of diseases like malaria and typhoid in the bill needs to be reviewed.
The categorization, particularly of the diseases under infectious diseases. And this to us is very worrisome because of the fact that I recognize that malaria and typhoid have been added. If I will be quarantined and my property will be confiscated, including forceful detention, I don't think any Nigerian will be spared. Rather than stigmatizing or criminalizing victims of those common but deadly health conditions, we urge the National Assembly to put in place laws and measures that will make Nigerians free from malaria, free from typhoid, and thereby making sure that every Nigerian is able to access quality health care.
The High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State Capital, has declared the Isaac Ogbogbulam-led 5-man caretaker committee constituted by the National Working Committee of the APC as illegal. The presiding judge, Justice George Omereji, held that the caretaker committee was only constituted to conduct congresses on September 2019, but their tenure has not been renewed. The judge held that the National Working Committee of the APC constituted the caretaker committee without liaison with the statutory members who, according to him, were empowered by the party constitution as state executive committee members. Justice Omereji also declared a former member of the House of Representatives Falga constituency, Igor Aguma, as the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. Well, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, says the electoral umpire will not declare any winner in the upcoming elections in Edo and Ondo states if they are disrupted. Yakubu, who spoke specifically about the Edo and Ondo governorship polls, said the commission will not endorse any exercise below its minimum standard. He said this on Tuesday at a virtual workshop organized by the Center for Strategic and International Studies in partnership with the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD. The INEC chairman said the commission decided to adopt the new measures following its experience in Kogi and Bayelsa, where the election turned violent, putting the credibility of the process in doubt. And to business stories now, the Central Bank of Nigeria is planning to provide agricultural funding for about 1.6 million farmers during the 2020 wet planting season. The bank's Director, Development Finance Department, Yila Yusuf, disclosed this on Tuesday in Abuja at the inauguration of farm input distribution for cotton farmers for the 2020 planting season. According to reports, the bank would support the farmers in the cultivation and production of 10 key agro-commodities, which include cotton, rice, oil palm, tomatoes, cassava, poultry, fish, maize, cocoa, and livestock, as well as dairy. Yusuf said the financial support to the 1.6 million farmers would ensure food security for the country, particularly after the devastating effects of COVID-19 on the agricultural sector. To the foreign scene, 6 police officers in Kenya have been charged with murder and assault for their alleged involvement in shootings during the nationwide dusk to dawn curfew aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19. A report by the country's Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, says at least 15 people were killed by police officers during that protest. A separate report by the UN Human Rights Office has documented widespread police violence in 182 communities across the country, including beating, use of live ammunition and tear gas, sexual violence, and damage to property. The highest number of incidents relating to excessive use of force by police were documented in the capital, Nairobi. Police spokesperson Charles Owino told reporters that the findings of the IPOA report were simply allegations and complaints filed by the public, and every case mentioned would need to be investigated. Manchester United was forced to cancel their friendly match with Stoke at the last minute after Stoke manager Michael O'Neill tested positive for COVID-19. The two clubs had arranged a behind-the-doors friendly at United Carrington training base, but the match was immediately abandoned when O'Neill tested positive, with United insisting none of their squad came in contact with him. The Stoke boss was said to have shown no symptom of the virus when he got news of his positive test. United had been stepping up their preparations for the return of the Premier League, beginning with a match against Tottenham next Friday. Premier League players and staff have been tested 6 times for the virus ahead of its June 17 restart, with the latest set of results showing 0 positives from 1,195 tests. And that's the latest from the newsroom. Many thanks for joining us. Bye for now.